food, and you find milk prices, egg prices, every trip for medical care, all these things, a tragic nightmare.
I wanted to ask you about black men specifically because the trend shows that it's black men who are increasingly interested in supporting the Republican Party and Donald Trump. We don't see as much with black women.
But black men are increasingly having an outlook, particularly working class black men, that looks identical to white working class men. They see themselves as the hunter-gatherer, the primary provider in their community. That's what we saw during the Trump years. The growth in wealth, the growth in employment, the growth in home ownership was faster and greater for blacks relative to the population of blacks.
How do you feel when those who are critical of Donald Trump say he's a racist? Why would you vote for him?
If he's a racist, he's the worst addict that I've ever seen. He's dated black women, he's hired black women, he has hired black men.
I mean, there are these examples, aren't there, that people who are critical of Donald Trump point out to say that he's prejudiced. According to the death penalty for Central Park Five, refusing to apologise after we know that they were innocent. That convicted felon comment, telling poor congresswomen to go back to the broken and crime-infested countries they come from. So people point at these and say, this is someone who's prejudiced, who's racist. Do you reject that?
I reject that. Truth of the matter is that in the give and take and rough and tumble of culture in America today, there are going to be things that people say that they probably, upon reflection, really think maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Back with Ron J. Spike in Maryland, he plays me some of his music. His passion is composing and performing what he calls conservative hip-hop.
I don't curse in my music. I don't talk about drugs. I don't talk about exploiting women.
You're quite a good boy.
I take the compliment. I take the compliment. I take the compliment. Want to paint it black or white to distract you from what they doing.
I want to better understand what exactly Ron J. sees in Donald Trump and how he justifies his support in light of Mr. Trump's more inflammatory comments. Then you do get Donald Trump saying things like, I'm now a convicted felon, and so black people should back me because they know what it's like. I mean, it's not a part of you that thinks cringes a bit at that, or thinks, come on now.
I will be honest, and I'll be fair. It is cringe. I think Donald Trump is trying too hard now. I think that he knows that he's starting to be accepted, so he's kind of like, oh, I'm going to have fun. I think he's just overexcited. I think someone in his corner needs to tell him, dude, chill out, relax, don't. Just chill. Do what you already was doing. You know, let me do the rapping, let me do the sneakers, let me do all this stuff. Nah, I like these stuff. I think you should do those.
While Donald Trump is doing all he can to attract more black voters like Ron J., the vast majority do still support the Democrats. In the 2020 election, black women in particular were credited with propelling Joe Biden to victory and coming out in big numbers to vote for him. But what happens this year if they don't? Professor Andrea Gillespie says the biggest threat to Joe Biden's election chances are not so much black voters turning out for Trump, it's black voters not turning out at all.
The primary way that we could be talking about the black vote being pivotal is not in people defecting from the Democratic Party to the Republican Party, but in people's state. So likely Democrats choose to not vote in the election because they're upset with the Democratic Party, because they don't like who the Democratic nominee is, because they're upset about policy, or because they feel that it doesn't matter who you vote for, you get the same types of policy. If that produces an apathy that keeps 10, 20, 30, even 50 or 70,000 black people home, right? That could be the difference between the Democrats or the Republicans winning a regional state, and that could create winning a electoral college.
The Democrats are very aware of this. At a rally in another swing state, this time in North Carolina, the Biden campaign is also showing he's into rap music. Legendary rapper Fat Joe is warming up the stage.
Folks, I give you my word that Biden, I would not be running again if I didn't believe with all my heart and soul I could do this job. Despite frankly,
Very positive and forward thinking. Do you guys know that black people are thriving today? Do you know that we're getting money, like young women are opening up their own businesses? Like, do you know these things? Like, how can we get that to continue? We just have to change the narrative.
What this means socially and politically is not necessarily a revolution. But come the US election in November, it could certainly prove decisive when it comes to deciding who the next president will be to enter the White House.
Donald Trump, Black America was presented by Nomia Iqbal, the producer was Beth McCarthy. You're gripped by every twist and turn of the American election. A new edition of the Today podcast has just been released. In it, Nick Robinson and Damo Rajan discuss Joe Biden's exit from the race with 30-day colleague Justin Webb. And of course, Justin's own podcast, Americast, is also there on BBC Sounds, with plenty to choose from.
I'm Catherine Bellhart, and I'm bringing you a brand new Friday night comedy here on Radio 4. Each week on TLDR, Too Long Didn't Read, I'll be unpacking one big news story so you don't have to. You don't have time for everything. You're busy. I'll be joined by experts and journalists to help get to the bottom of an overwhelming news story so that you have more time to make yoga classes and games to try. Trust me, the news is just high-profile gossip. So settle in, because I have a lot to tell you. Join me for Catherine Bellhart, TLDR, starting this Friday night at 6:30 on Radio 4 and BBC Sounds.
Now on Radio 4, the comedian and author Alexei Sayle begins a new series of rail journeys across the country to meet strangers on a train.
Welcome aboard the 1146 Eastern and Railway service from Nottingham to Skegness. Today, folks, we're joined by comedian and author Alexei Sayle and his Radio 4 programme Strangers on a Train. Alexei is keen to chat to passengers about his journey today and also to hear your personal stories.
Have you travelled on a train and wondered about all the other passengers? Who are they? What do they do? And where are they going? Well, I plan to start some conversation. Find out. So I'm just leaving Nottingham Station in the Midlands, and my destination today is a seaside town on the east coast, Skegness. I have to say, seeing all these people getting on this train, there's a bit of a party atmosphere going on here as we all head to the seaside. Sleaford, Hickington. And Nottingham was the home of the Raleigh Bicycle Company, which was established in 1886. In the early 20th century, Raleigh was the largest bicycle manufacturer in the world. Never wondered where the name Nottingham came from? Well, it's Anglo-Saxon in origin. A Saxon chieftain named Snot. He ruled an area known as Snottingham in Old England. And apparently the name is derived from Snotenga, which means caves. Good morning, I'm Alexei Sayle.
Good morning.
Good morning, and tell us your names and where you've come from today.
I'm Layla, and I'm from Bolton. I'm Cecilia, and I'm from Bolton.
Alright, and where are you going today?
Skegness, for an 80s bangers weekend. Need you ask.
Yeah.
Sitting in a
So-
chalet. His shirt says it all.
I have the 80s. Right, listen, I just go the 80s.
That's the one. Yeah.
Just a giant.
She's just for the weather.
I think well, I know loads of people from Bolton.
Do you?
Yeah, massive geek.
Yeah. Ian McKellen went to Bolton School.
Yeah.
Peter
Kay,
Peter Kay.
Adam McGuinness. Yeah. We went to school with Peter Kay and Adam
Really?
McGuinness. Yeah, we did. We were a couple of years older than us.
Well, I think like you like Diana or Maxine, very, very bold.
Oh, Maxine as
Yeah.
well, yeah.
She's
Very
fantastic.
broad. She's wonderful.
Yeah, she's
Well,
brilliant.
I got drunk with her on Saturday.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay, you came from.
I know, we were with Siobhan McSweeney, you know, Sister Michael from Derry Girls.
Derry Girls, yeah.
That
Now,
was-
where were you? You went to Bolton, were you?
No, we were in a pub in Great Portland. Just that from the BBC.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, you go to Butlins.
Bolton,
Yeah.
we're going to Botlins,
Yeah.
so we've got Buckspace, Tony Hadley,
Go
Gordon
west.
Swallow, and
Go
Gabriel
west.
Lucky Ball.
Right.
And then there's a couple of tributes. There's a Whitney Houston and a Ray Charles. So it's just a
Alright.
bit cheesy, but it will do exactly what it's supposed to do.
Right.
I've been to Butlins before, so I was in Barbados 2 weeks ago. That's my Butlins one. What a change. I went Blackpool another week, so I
You
can,
live a life of-
I can live it up and down.
Yeah.
It really is.
Staging place, beginning with me.
Playing off
Well,
Butlins.
Botlins.
You seem to live a life of sybarite luxury. What's that all about? You wonder?
You just don't say no. If you get an invitation, life's too short to go with it.
Yeah.
Wherever it is.
I constantly say no on the reverse. What is it about the 80s? I mean, that is when you
That's our era,
Yeah.
the 80s. We're kids of the 80s. Music was just really gorgeous. They've all got a bit techno and stuff,
Yeah.
yeah. I think towards the end of Top of the Pops and with like the videos and the charts, it's just not the same now, is
No, you
it?
download everything, don't you?
Yeah.
Before then, you were buying it on cassettes or going through Woolworths, finding out
Yeah.
vinyls and. Well, you don't know, you just say Alexa and then
Who are you looking forward to the most with yours?
I'm looking forward to Go West.
Little card now. I think that sounds really nice. I mean, it sounds really cozy in a way, doesn't it?
It is,
Yeah.
but in the morning it's absolutely frostbite, especially
Yeah.
with this weather at the minute.
My friend Monica, she does cookery books on
Yeah.
how to cook in a caravan.
Oh.
Have you-
Yeah, I
is
do
it-
cook, yeah, I do cook a bit, yeah.
Is it particularly challenging cooking in a caravan? What
It-
sort of food is?
It is, yes, because imagine like the quarter of a kitchen, and that's all you've got.
Right. Do you entertain in your caravan?
Uh,
People around?
I do sometimes, yeah, not very often, because obviously I don't want too much hassle with
Yeah.
my neighbours and stuff.
Yeah.
When I start a party, it's a party.
I think I used to be like that, but it's very nice when I was not now. Well, thank you very much.
No, thank you. Lovely
Yeah.
to meet you.
And you?
Thank you
Yeah.
ever so much.
Good afternoon. Ladies. And tell us your names and where you're going today.
My name's Karen. I'm off to Skegness and Andover.
You're from different empires, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're not together.
No.
They sent a representative from each
That's right,
empire
yeah,
on this
yeah,
train,
yeah.
democratically elected, to
Yeah.
come forward, represent each of your empires
Yeah.
in the media. I think we can still say empire.
Yes.
Well,
yeah.
mine isn't actually a home party,
Oh,
so
okay.
we're just going to have fun at Woodlands.
You've got prosecco as well.
I've got Prosecco as well.
You've got a plastic bag, or you've got
With a strawberry.
you've got strawberry in yours. Is yours actually a wedding party, or is it you've got a veil on with
Yes,
bride?
I am a bride to be.
Yeah.
Yes. In September, this is my first hen party of many.
Can I ask about your husband to be there in September?
We've been engaged for 20 years now,
Okay.
together for about 23.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got engaged on holiday in Capri. Yeah, very nice. He took me on a boat trip from the mainland over to a restaurant on the Sorrento coast.
Yeah.
Just hired a little boat, just me and him and
Yeah.
the captain, and yeah,
And you
halfway
proposed
across the
it.
water, yeah.
This was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Has he been in prison since? Or why the hiatus?
Yeah, we've been raising 4 children.
Time and eventually like it made me a bit ill, incredibly anxious. And in one of those sort of episodes I thought something's got to change here.
Job was busy. Or consuming it.
Yeah, when's your off time?
Yeah, never. Always on. Always entertaining people. I can't keep telling jokes day in, day out.
And you're amazing at it, obviously. But you make time on it. Like, there's some people that they need that support, and I needed that for that.
Yeah.
I always enjoy travelling around on trains to some crazy places like Cape Town, Ukraine, Montenegro, Morocco. I feel like, what is money every day? What if I scared that it goes smoothly. Or a stage where everything goes wrong, but at the end of the day, the slate is white. Tomorrow, sorry, I just kind of we will shortly be arriving in Skegness. This is our final stop. Before you leave the train, take a quick look around, make sure you have everything with you. Thanks for travelling with us today, and whether you're on a hen do, whether you're catching up with friends, or whether you're going to the beach with your buckets and spades, enjoy your afternoon in Skegness. Okay, please, okay.
Skegness was a small seaside fishing village until the arrival of the railways turned it into a tourist destination. It was home to the first Butlins holiday camp in 1932. Alfred Lord Tennyson holidayed at Skegness, but not in Butlins.